Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Monster, episode 41. Alright, we're in Prague.
Yep.
The land of fairy tales. The fairy tale
right.
city.
Yes.
If you will.
Prague, my dear. Anyways. And we got introduced to this awesome spy dude who is just super chill, super cool. Can't wait to see what we do with him.
Yeah, his character is probably one of, like, my favorite, just kind of little, like, you know, fun side characters because brought in.
Because he's not integral to the plot.
Yet.
But I am so excited for him to become integral to the plot.
Exactly. He reminds me of Richard Brown, but like having a more interesting backstory.
Right, exactly. He's more of like cool, whereas Richard was more of like endearing.
Yeah, endearing, because we're like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your story.
Whereas this guy's just like, oh man, what is he going to do? What is he going to do?
Yep. So guys, Monster.
Yep.
We're hyped. Without further ado, let's get into it.
心理学者で精神科医だそうですね。しかも内務省での専門は科学的人格矯正
Personality programming. Yeah. Oh man.
学者にとって自分の研究論文やデータは命より大切なものでしょう。そう簡単に手放したりしませんよね。人をモルモットのように扱って楽しいですか。実験は失敗だったんでしょ。噂じゃ施設の子供同士が殺し合ったっていうじゃないですか。
Someone's about to get burned up.
あの時、私は院長の任からすでに外れていた。
So he realized what was going to happen. He's like, nope.
あんなことにはならなかった。実験は成功していたんだ。あんたは危険なところに足を踏み入れている。
He's like, that's every day.
Yeah.
おじいちゃん。
さあ帰ろ
う。子供たちにあんなひどいことをした人間が。
Yeah. Oh, heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was kind of curious seeing him in such a...
Someone come to kill him.
ペドロフ様からお届け物です。
Oh.
ペドロフ。ちょっと待ってて。
Yeah.
Whoa, you're right, Jacob. Wow.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And he knew it too. Dang. Holy crap. Ha.
景色が悪い角部屋だけどね。
Any waves.
便利なんだ。
Wow. Wow.
Awesome. Love it.
That was amazing.
Love it.
自由ってのはいい。ずっとあなたにつきまとってたっていいんだ。さっきあなたがご自宅から出てくるところから尾行させてもらいました。
Wow.
なかなか立派なお宅だ。また違う子だ。
Oh, you're right. Whoa.
4人、5人、6人。
Is he doing another Kinderheim style, or is this all just to make up for it?
I think he's taking care of orphaned kids.
Right. He's just doing nice things for kids.
Yep. Or is he going back to his room? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
getting a weird vibe here, Jacob. Yeah, the music has shifted.
Oh.
The looks and the fact that they're not questioning him.
Yeah.
What is this?
彼は同じことをまた同じ実験を繰り返そうとしている。 ドイツとの国境に娼婦街があるだろう。この子たちはそこで生まれた子供。そしてベルリンの壁崩壊直後、貧困の中で捨てられた子もいる。511キンダーハイムの実験の続きか。何度も言うが、あそこでの実験は成功だった。私の作り上げた教育プログラムは確実に素晴らしい人格を育成させたということだよ。
Wonderful
教
how.
育？あんなもののどこが教育だ。あれはただの人体実験だ。
よく考えてみたまえ。社会が要求する人間を作り上げることが
here we go, here we go.
どういう教育を施せば要求通りの人間を作り出せるのか。あそこでは確かに高度
An
な教育
advanced
システムが
education
確立
system.
されていた。
Yeah,
あ
you
ん
could
なひ
say
どいこ
that.
とをして、よくそんなことが。
ひどいこと？
ああ、あなたが子供たちにしたことをよく考えてみろ。
トップ屋ごときが。なんだその目は。
子供同士が殺し合ったあの事件もあなたの実験の成果だというんですか。
Wait, is he a survivor of Kindergarten 511?
あれは私が委員長の任から外れた後に起きたことだ。
Are you
予
sure?
定外の因子の出現で闇だよ。
Darkness.
憎悪、虚無、破壊衝動、それらに疲れたんだよ。あの時の511キンダーハイムは。ある
Possessed by them.
一人の少年の登場でね。
すべて共通した欠落部分がある。彼らは人を愛せない。
興味深い指摘だ。さあ、話はここまでだ。
あなたはこの国で孤児院を経営する資格は持っていない。私が通報すればあなたは逮捕されますよ。
取
The
引
kids are just completely unresponsive.
Yeah.
通報しない代わりに私の持っている実験データを手渡す。
みんな行こう。
No.
Yeah, they don't want to.
何をする気だ。
そうだ、サッカーやろ
サッカー
う。よし行こう。
何を考えてるんだ。
And he's actually like
Nah,
getting involved in
nah.
playing with kids and stuff.
Oh.
私が警察に通報したら君たちは自由になる。みんなあの家から出たいだろ。
Oh, yeah.
なあ聞いて。
Yeah. The kids, dude.
おじさんボール行ったよ。
笑っている。 なんで
What?
心から楽しそうに。まさか。
おじさん
There's just this sense of uneasiness this whole episode
Yeah.
gives me. It's involving kids, wondering what the experiment was, and is that Anna?
They've never made Anna seem
もしかし
scary
て子供た
before.
ちに。
Is he dead?
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Okay, so it's definitely not, or probably not Anna.
No, no.
ペドロフさん。
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Holy crap.
しっかりしろ。
おじいちゃんおじいちゃん。
誰にやられたんだ。ペドロフさん。
女。
女。
おじいちゃんどうしたのおじいちゃん。
鍵。鍵とカード、暗証番号。
Oh, for the research data. Okay.
私の
Oh.
3番目の引き出しの裏側だ。実験データと テープがある。
Alright.
ある少年の面接テープだ。催眠法と薬物投与による彼の過去を彼自身が語った。
Okay. Johann Liebert. Alright, wow.
どうだ。
Jeez.
この子たちはどこか欠落しているかね。
ペドロフさん、あなた
闇に取り込まれない人間を作りたかった。どうやると思うね。
Wow.
愛情
Wow.
実験だ。
Jeez. And they all just lost their only parental figure they've ever had. Oh, wow. That was sad.
That was sad.
That was like a very good, simple story. And yet, like, in some ways, there was this uneasiness I had throughout it, all all throughout it. And I feel like the episode wasn't intending to do that. But then once it came to the end, and
it worked.
And then, they were just killed.
Yep, that...
My uneasiness was justified, I guess.
Right.
Good
because
grief.
it's about something completely different, but that was really interesting because, okay, Johann works with fear, right?
Right.
And love is the opposite of fear, right? Awesome that they brought that up here, right?
Yeah.
And they were showing how entirely devoted to this man Petrov the kids were.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yep.
And that was unsettling for our good friend because he's like, these kids are being manipulated, they're being brainwashed, all this stuff. That's bad, right? And in a way, they kind of were, but through something completely different. The idea that the flip side of Johann's fear, right? Just love, right?
Yeah.
Is able to do so much for these kids to the point where from the outside, if you are coming at it with a suspicious or fearful perspective, it would look pretty terrifying.
Sure.
Because it just doesn't seem to be able to be explained,
Well, also, you assume, I think, because of the adults' prior involvement with Kinderheim, that there must be something nefarious going on. I think on some level, it is a little bit strange that someone would have, 15 kids or so in their apartment kind of thing. And just all of them in there. Eventually, they'd run out of space, they'd run out of supplies, food, all that other thing. It's essentially the idea of hoarding children. That in of itself sounds a little disturbing.
Well, right, but that's because you call it hoarding children. Whereas if you were to, there are stories of people that have done things like this, not the Kinderheim part, but just, taking in mass amounts of orphans and caring for them. And it's one of the most, amazing, touching stories ever. But, and they have all the, the same sort of problems of, space and things like that, and I would say it's pretty natural to assume or at least question and be like, are the motives, on the up and up, right? Because that's something that, to look at the positive of that, it's something that's so big, it's hard to accept right away.
Yeah, someone could be so magnanimous,
right. So, you want to question it and be like, okay, it's just, this
skepticism
legit.
can be healthy, and it's something that I think ends up leaving you, less surprised when it comes to, something that's, horrible, but then you're not blindsided by it either. Right. In this case, though, he seemed to be figuring things out in a very kind of slow way. But the thing is, he said, wait, these kids are happy. But then he got panicked and ran back to find them both shot.
Right.
Now, why did them being happy genuinely make him think that there was something, potentially worrisome,
Well, I don't think he thought that they were in danger.
But why did he run then? He had an urgency of speed and time in which to
I'm not sure. It could just be for dramatic effect. I feel like some of the things in this episode could be just set up as just dramatic effects type stuff. But it could also be that it was basically a positive realization of, oh wow, this is what you're doing for these kids. Not only do I want to like because then suddenly it's not something, because he doesn't have to protect the kids from him anymore. Now it's like, okay, I might be able to actually work with this guy.
Oh, sure.
You know, and then it's like,
he's like, I've been
I get
antagonistic.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry, I totally get what you're doing. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Let's work with each other.
Let's work together. This is fantastic.
That's a good point. But he was being watched by some other people, or at least one other person,
right?
Because it seems like right when, you know, he was about to make some headway, and he was also alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's another nice little separation. Whoever killed, you know, Mr. Petrov is not a horrible like child killer or anything like that, because then they might have, you know,
right,
you know, killed him as well. So maybe it's someone that they're selling the information to.
Possibly. Now, here's my question. Okay. He's still what were the two dudes that were sent to his apartment?
There were people that he probably ordered to do this that were probably either hired killers or contacts that he has from his past life and stuff.
Right, because what it makes me think of is that, because originally, right, you're thinking, okay, he's wanting to just basically wipe away any evidence, you know, any ties, make sure that no one knows he exists, right? Cool. Since we see that the twist on his personality and stuff that he's caring for these kids, it makes me wonder, okay, was he still trying to silence our spy friend, right?
Yes, I think so.
And I'd say there's a very decent possibility.
Oh, but you're saying someone else was trying to kill him.
What if it was someone else? Now, it could also be that they were sent there and they were actually, like, I don't know if we saw them actually pull out guns.
I think they did. Yeah.
Okay, but they probably did. But there's the possibility that they didn't, and he just sent them there, and he's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to talk about this in public. You will be my liaisons that will, like, my proxy agents that will deal with him. But probably not.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. There's a lot of questions raised by this episode.
A lot of questions raised. I don't think there are many answers other than that he has research data, and he said the experiment was a success.
Yes, and that they got Johan to talk about his past.
Also, that Johan wasn't the experiment.
Right.
That it was
Johan was the one that he was the variable that they couldn't have accounted for.
Right. Essentially, that they were trying to create someone who was immune to darkness.
Right.
Now, in some ways, who is that?
Yeah, like
So they're saying that the experiment was a success until they switched out directors, and Johan was introduced before that, and then something went wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the experiment was going along successfully, but it didn't get a successful conclusion. And because who at Kinderheim would be the? Oh, wait a minute.
I think
Dieter?
No, Dieter was after Kinderheim.
Oh, Dieter was after Kinderheim.
Yeah, Dieter was an attempt at replicating. So here's what I'm thinking. There's the possibility that Kinderheim actually started out as a very positive thing.
Yes.
And that's what it was. And then Johan comes in, and Johan's like, I don't like this. And orchestrates basically the removal of
the director.
The director,
Petrov,
Yeah, Petrov. And then after that, he orchestrates like it could have been his whole idea for them to take it that different direction. Now, I don't think he was at Kinderheim that long, so I don't know how that all worked out. And because there were a bunch of like horror stories about Kinderheim that could be just because Johan ended up getting all the people there to kill each other. Like, we don't know how much of it was like that beforehand, but the way Dieter was treated seemed to be that it was certainly not that great.
Right.
So how long was that? Yeah,
there are a couple things that are being hinted at, but I don't know what the answers are.
Oh, wow!
With regards to
what if it was this? What if it wasn't that Johan orchestrated or anything, but they were doing an experiment, and they were doing maybe bad experiments, right? You know, the bad experiments and stuff.
Right.
And then this guy Petrov basically figures out, oh no, we're going about this all the wrong way. This isn't actually the way to get what we want. If we actually go the route of positive reinforcement and all that stuff, love and things, that actually has some great results. And because they didn't like that they got rid of him.
Possibly.
Or something.
And he's saying, yeah, if I was still the director, then of course it would have worked because, I learned that...
Yeah, I was starting to, try and take it a different direction. Or something.
Right, so they were, in some ways, trying to achieve a perfect being, kind of experiment. Yeah. But it was just based on definitions of perfect being, potentially.
Right, and I loved what Petrov said about the idea of education versus brainwashing, because because the idea is, when kids are kids, we know that they don't know how to properly care for themselves, so we're going to do the best we can to set them up properly so that they will be able to thrive in the world.
Right, which in some ways is societal confirmation.
Yes, it's right, exactly.
They need to be able to not only survive in society, they need to be able to thrive in society.
Right, which
it's very easy to set up someone so that they can survive on their own, but to be able to survive specifically in this society and also do well, you would say it's optimal that you do this. It's optimal that you do that.
And that's perfectly natural and can be awesome and healthy and great. Right? It can be done badly when, just like anything can be done badly.
Well, I think he was making the point that all education is just making someone conform to society.
Right.
Well, that's I would say that's like almost always got some bad in there.
Sure, but with the case of kids, you could say that it's conform to society until they basically are of the point where now we don't need to teach them. They do what they will, and if they decide to do something completely different, then cool.
He was saying he was saying that's an experiment.
Oh, absolutely.
That's something that you don't know is if it's whether or not it's actually good.
Which I thought was just brilliant, because it's basically saying, with parenting, you don't know what you're doing. You're experimenting, right? Mm-hmm. You're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. You're like, all right, how can we work with this, right?
Right.
In the same way with love, it's an experiment. Mm-hmm. You're throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Yeah, you don't know how it's going to be received.
Exactly. But you do it anyway.
Yeah, right? You don't have any control over how they receive it.
Yep. And that's
totally. Yeah, it was really good. He seemed to have a good understanding of why he was doing this and how it would be effective. I'm talking about Petrov here. Mm-hmm. But the fact that the other guy came in so antagonistically is maybe something that this was the one area where he was unable to come at this more the same way he did with Tenma. Come at this with less prior information and just try and ask questions and try and divine more information about the guy. He might have been too blinded by his hatred for what went down at Kinderheim that he's like, all right, I can't regard this guy as anything other than an enemy, so I'm going to ruin my chances of really getting to him. Which is funny, because if he didn't do it this way, he might have been able to get to that data before he died. Right.
And I mean, why would he think Petrov isn't an enemy? Like that's, a completely different thing. Those exist in water, and that was terrible. But yeah, this episode was fun. I am really curious to see the direction they go with this new killer lady. I'm a little bit salty that we're introduced to a new, potentially psycho lady when Ava still exists as a character.
I don't think there's anything to showcase this character being a psycho. I think if anything,
or at least they are cold.
That's my point, is that I think this character actually is someone that's touched by Johan, potentially.
Okay, makes sense.
I heard the
that's
scratching sound, so I think this is someone that's potentially influenced by Johan.
Sure, they're all doing it basically on his behalf to
all?
All.
Sorry, I was just wondering if there are other people I'm missing.
No, but
okay.
But just the idea, because Johan probably has a bunch of people doing his bidding.
Sure.
But this person could just be one of Johan's pawns that he basically is just like, oh yeah, go kill this person I heard about, whatever, ties to Kinheim, something.
Yeah, I
don't
definitely
let anyone know I exist.
Yeah, I definitely got a Johan vibe from her, that there's some kind of connection there. And at the very least, it's so aptly timed that it seems like the kind of thing that, since Johan was, headed here,
That's true, yeah. He's cleaning out before he gets there. One of the things that's interesting, though, is how they treated this character.
Which character?
The girl. Because they didn't show her face, right? And one of the,
things to make us think that it might be Anna.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Make us doubt her a little bit.
Right, because what we've seen from like other people that Johan used as pawns. Yes, that's true. With Dieter. But
with Dieter, good point. Yeah.
With Johan's pawns, we rarely see them being especially like competent with whatever it is they're doing. They can be in cases like Roberto, right?
Oh, Roberto's a great example.
But then that's another character that is introduced as being a person. We have a face and all that stuff. In fact, and this is the type of character that seems like they would be another Roberto. The fact that they hid their face, yeah, it's probably just something to like have that little bit of like, watch the next episode. Is it Anna? Who knows? You know. But they don't seem to be a regular, just another pawn kind of a thing.
Right.
Because it went too smoothly for that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There's something about this that's way too convenient. It's like, almost as if, because I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around the idea of the spy guy being like, wait a minute, they're so happy. And then he runs back. It's almost as if he had a sixth sense of something being off, something being wrong.
Right.
And maybe he had a sixth sense about this, and he was like, I need to go back.
Maybe the two dudes that went after him weren't from Petrov, and he's like, oh crap, if those people weren't actually from him, and if they weren't from him, then they're from someone else, third party, he's in danger.
Yeah,
like that
sure.
could be what it is.
That works too.
But yeah,
I like the idea of Prague in and of itself, and everything that comes with it, being this whole nother web of danger. Not necessarily completely separate from the whole Johan Munich situation, but being like just another aspect of it.
Right, almost like it's another world almost. Like they've said that a lot with the whole idea of, you know, the land that looks like it's from a fairy tale or whatever.
Yeah, they have.
But considering how Munich to Prague, there's definitely differences, of course.
Totally.
But like it's not stark 180 degree polar opposite differences, right?
Totally.
But the fact that they're able to make each place have such a distinct feel, that is very impressive.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like a lot of stories, it'll be like, okay, we'll go to a whole nother country, and then it'll be about how like the country's different. And I guess this is a country because it's Europe, but you know, point is, like, so many countries all go densely packed together.
Right.
It's not like a whole other continent, but yeah.
But wow, they're dead.
Yep.
The kids saw it. That's brutal.
The kids
That's
are
horrible.
still here. Like how? Like
yeah. What's gonna happen to them? Who knows? Yeah. Let's hopefully in the next episode get to see a little bit of, you know, Tenma.
Yeah.
And
Anna,
maybe at least Anna and Dieter, so we can kind of clear up her name 100% as being like we don't see like her like come back into the house and Dieter's like, where have you been, or something.
If they wanted to do one of those like meta things of like just making the audience worry, even though it's not Anna.
It's not.
I mean, I could theoretically maybe understand.
Yeah, maybe they give us some context as to how it could be, but then
like
we still wouldn't believe.
She had so much trouble just killing Johan, and if she had trouble killing Johan, then why would she have trouble? Like, how would she be able to do this?
So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. It's a good episode.
Yep.
Very sweet and sad. Also very confusing and jumping around different things.
But they made the twist work.
They made the twist work really well.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to watch the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, where you can chat with us about stories or whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.